Hello again, YouTube. It's still June 19th, 2022, 1:27 p.m. I ran out of space on my SD card again. Like every third or fourth video, like clockwork. You know, there's a lot of shit I could delete off this phone. I really need to make an effort to do it. But it's tedious because at this point it's vlogs, and I obviously need to kind of go through and verify that they're uploaded. And at this point they're so far back that it's a lot of effort to go searching through my YouTube, the section for my videos and get that back. And I almost wish that I had titled these with dates versus numbers, because when I'm in that control panel, I don't think it shows the dates. Mind you, I'm doing that with the Android version of the software right now, as opposed to doing it on a desktop, which might give me more information. Anyway, that's what I'm up against. So I'm sitting on a residential street. I'm not even sure what street I'm on. I'm thinking probably 35th Street, just north of Osborne. I just pulled on a side street where I could park. They've eliminated on-street parking on 36th Street to add bike lanes, which is a good thing. They've done the same thing with Osborne, which I also think is a good thing. I would imagine it kind of sucks for the people that live there that drive, but I'm not, as I've said before, I'm not a big fan of painted bike lanes. But if you're going to have a painted bike lane, by all means, put it on a road that doesn't have so much high-speed traffic that it's just dangerous and scary for people who are on bikes. I've long said, like, a bike lane just has no business. If it's just a painted bike lane with no isolation or separation from the road, if you don't like the way, or you can always park on the where the sidewalk should be, if there was one. That's great. I always got that bug. Anyway, what was I going to say? So, I've always said, if you're going to, have a bike lane on a road where people are driving, 45, 50 miles per hour, where the only thing protecting you from the cars whizzing by you so fast as a line of paint is just pointless. It's just, may as well not have that at all. That's just a hostile environment for a bike, with or without, a painted bicycle gutter next to it. Now, in this part of town, like 36th Street is great, especially since they've limited the parking. That actually makes it to where if you're in the bike lane, you don't need to worry about getting doored. And for those who don't know what getting doored is, that's when you've got a bike lane that is adjacent to on-street parking. And somebody who is parallel parked opens the door right into your path as you're riding a bicycle. It's a lot more common occurrence than people who don't ride bikes or electric scooters realize. And for what reason, most people, when they get out of their car, when they open the door, they don't look to see if there's a vehicle, coming in the bike lane that's adjacent to where their door opens into before they open the door. They just open the door. So, it's a good thing Phoenix eliminated the parking, as much as I would have liked to have been able to just pull over and park there. So I am following an Amazon truck. Hey, Amazon is everywhere. That kind of answered my question about, hey, do they deliver on Sunday? It's a double holiday today. It's Father's. It's a triple holiday depending on how you look at it. It's Sunday. It's Father's Day. It's also Juneteenth, and on top of all of that, you've got a stop sign, dude. You need to stop. Thank you. And on top of all that, Amazon, as I see, is delivering. So, which reminds me, I forgot to order that interface to put a better car stereo in this car. And I don't even need to buy a car stereo. Like, I've got two great stereos I could install in this. Actually, three great stereos. I've got a decent stereo in my Benz. I've got a decent stereo, which of course my Benz doesn't run. It needs a transmission, which is more than the value of what the car is. So yeah, no. Yeah, I've long since decided I don't want to fix the bins. What I want to do is get the bins moved over to my apartment and start parting it out, because there's some money there, because it is a Benz after all. But yeah, I've got the. I've also got an old Lexus. I think it's a 97. I forget the model, but it's a 97 Lexus. Really nice car, really comfortable car. If memory serves, the problem with it is that something has gone wonky in the wiring harness, and apparently it's a very difficult part to find a replacement for, because pretty much all other cars all other ones that have the compatible parts have the same issue from age, and nobody makes an aftermarket replacement for it. So it's been a long time since I talked to Rob about fixing my Lexus. I would kind of like to fix the Lexus. Now, I'm questioning if it would be cost effective to fix it, but at this point, I think the value of the Lexus is going up, not down. So there's that. It does need notable bodywork. It needed bodywork when I got it. It had some front end damage, but it also has like some side damage where I got into an accident with a woman years ago. It's been years since I've driven that car. So I am driving, in case you're wondering where I'm driving and what the heck this back road is I'm driving on. I'm driving on Clarendon. Clarendon is the quarter-mile street that is halfway between Osborne and Indian School Road. And granted, I did this a whole lot more before I got my car back, but talking about, as I said, I'm very active in RFUC cars and a lot of other like urban spaces that talk about, what it's like to live without a car. And granted, I've been pretty car dependent since I got my car back. God, I love my car. But on the same token, I really miss having an electric scooter. I would like to get my bike fixed, although I'm not going to be riding my bike, during the summer because it's really hot. It's only about 99 degrees today, which is pretty dang mild for June in Phoenix. We got some mild monsoon rains last night, so kind of cooled things off, and it's a little overcast today, so it's pretty mild today. Anyway, I've often said that, Stroads, with or without and which is what Indian School Road would qualify as. Indian School Road is just, it's a hostile place to ride a bike. If they add bikes lanes to it, it's not going to change the fact that it's a hostile place to ride a bike. And it just blows my mind that people do ride bicycles on it, and it creates a hazard, not only for the bicycle, but also for the people who are driving, trying to not hit the bicycle. I mean, I yield to bicycles. I view them as another vehicle. If I got to slow down to 10 miles per hour while I follow a bike before I can get into the other lane to pass it, I mean, that's what I do. It's not a big deal to me. But roads like this, as you see, I haven't seen another car in Clarendon, and I got on Clarendon at like 35th Street, and it looks like I have made it. Yeah, I've made it all the way to the 51 freeway. Like, if you're trying to go on Indian School, hell, why wouldn't you just drop a quarter mile south and ride down Clarendon? Clarendon is a very nice, bikeable street. This is 18th Street. So this is, as you see, I've got that's the 51 freeway, formerly known as the Squaw Peak Parkway. Of course, somebody's decided that Squaw Peak is racist, but anyway, yeah, it'll always be the Squaw Peak Parkway to me. And oh, hey, check this out. It's been a long time since I've done a video mentioning this stuff. But I don't have anybody behind me. I can back up and get this in the camera. Oops, there's a car. I'm confusing the Lexus. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. There's some of the pottery artwork there. I think I actually got that in one of my vlogs one time when I was walking, but it's yeah, it was dark, so you couldn't see it. And at this point, there was an oncoming car, so I couldn't really get in a position where you can see it this time either. Now, this is kind of interesting. Now, as you can see directly in front of me, there is a bike route that goes through. So this road is a bike route. This is the way to go if you're on a bike. Don't be going down Indian School. Go down, go down Clarendon to 18th and then go, north or south. I mean, obviously you've got to cross the freeway somewhere, and you can't cross, in Clarendon, but this intersection is reasonably safe. I mean, you're going to have to, get through some crosswalks and stuff, but Yeah, here at Indian School, you can get across the freeway, or you can go south, and it's really easy to cross the freeway on the 51 freeway on, I'm forgetting the name of the road, on Osborne. Really easy to cross there. And Osborne's got bike lanes on it. But even given the choice between riding on Osborne with its bike lanes or riding on Clarendon, which I just drove down, and you saw there were absolutely no other cars on it, I'd much rather, not that there's much car traffic on Osborne, but there's enough that I would much rather be, if I'm on a bike or electric scooter, I'd much rather be in Clarendon than to be on Osborne. All right, I'm trying to go west from here, so I feel bad that I'm cutting through this parking lot. Obviously, this is something that you're really not supposed to do. Wow. That guy in the red classic Benz convertible, which is a fucking gorgeous car, by the way. Wow, nice. Yeah, he didn't even slow down in the slightest when he turned right on Indian School. I'm not sure if there's a yield sign or a stop sign there, but at any rate, he didn't even slow down for that corner. You know, glad he didn't hit me. Glad he turned into the wrong lane as opposed to turning in the correct lane, because I would have been cutting him off. But when I started executing that turn, like, he wasn't even visible. So he seems to be in control of his car, though. I guess all's well that ends well. I have backtracked to 20th Street, which I'm pretty sure has bike lanes on it. This is one of those roads. It used to be, memory serves, it used to be a 4-lane road through here. And no, I take it back. I don't think it was ever 4 lanes through here. Anyway, this is another one of those half-mile roads. It's similar to 36th. As I was driving up it before I ran out of space on my micro SD card, and also like Osborne, which I had mentioned I couldn't park on, where it's a half-mile, like it's a through street. It's a somewhat busy street, but 2-lane road with a bike lane. I think the speed limit's 30 on here. As I'm doing, what speed am I doing? 30. It's got speed bumps, so it kind of slows some people down. Actually, the speed bumps are kind of frustrating to me as a driver. I mean, my car, as you see, just glides right over them, but there are some vehicles that they see these speed bumps. I feel like I got to slow down to 10 miles per hour on streets that have 30 and 35 mile per hour speed limits, which is annoying. Wow. I noticed right there at that intersection that the bike lane ended for an extra traffic lane, and the bike lane resumes there. Yeah. Way to tell the bicyclist that your safety doesn't matter, City of Phoenix. Good not looking out there. And now I'm coming up on Highland. This is kind of the Biltmore area that I'm in. Whole Foods on the right. I believe that used to be a Smitty's back in the Smitty's days. And I feel like in some of my vlogs somewhere, I've been doing this like, a year and a half now? Somewhere I talked about Smitty's. Smitty's doesn't exist anymore. It was bought up by Kroger Foods many, many years ago. And Whole Foods is not owned by Kroger, so obviously Kroger sold that property, which makes sense because there's a Fry's Marketplace on the left. So what's the point in them having grocery stores across the street from each other? But Smitty's used to be a local Arizona grocer. It was more than just a grocer. What shade of green are you people waiting for? Come on, let's go. Smitty's had everything. Had a little restaurant in it, like this cafe that was separated, but it was there. Had a most every location had a barber shop, which was in a separate thing, and a beauty salon. And a way to cut me off, dude. That is not the lane you're supposed to turn right into. I gotta pay attention when I drive, even when I'm talking to myself. That guy pulled right out of a parking lot in front of me in the wrong lane. Asshole. Now I'm crossing the 51 now. And I don't know if y'all saw the bike route signs there. There is pretty much a bike route which parallels the 51 on that side of it. And in some places you're riding along streets like 18th Street. In other places you're on actual nice paths where you're separated from vehicles. So, Yeah, I really hate it when people say that Phoenix isn't a bikeable city, because it really is. You know, but no, there's not bike lanes on this road, as I don't feel there should be. I mean, as you see, like this road here, this is a minor street. This is actually a quarter-mile street. This is the one that's a quarter-mile south of Camelback, which is, again, a road, no good for cycling. Highland is a quarter-mile street, which is a quarter-mile south of Camelback, quarter-mile north of Campbell. Campbell's a half-mile road, although in this particular part of town, Highland is more of a thoroughfare than Campbell is, because it's the example I was talking about. This guy is driving 14 miles per hour. We are not in a school zone, but he's so freaked out by the speed bumps that he slowed down to nothing. After he had to drive so fast that he cut me off coming out of a parking lot. All right, now he's on the wrong side of the road, crossing a double yellow line. Classic crap Phoenix driver. Hey, he's up to 20 miles per hour now. Woohoo! Oh, let's slow way down because there's a speed bump. Oh, yeah. I hate it. I don't drive on Highland very often, and this is why. I'm not bothered by the bike lane. In fact, if I was on a bike, I'd probably be passing this asshole. Yeah, I've just had about enough of Highland and this idiot in the Volvo in front of me. This is a street. This is what I was thinking of. This is one that used to be a 4-lane road that occasionally would widen out and have a turn lane on it, and they eliminated, kind of recently too, I want to say like within the last like 5-6 years, they eliminated the extra traffic lanes to add bike lanes now that they're on the right as a shared right turn lane and bike lane, which is a little scary when you're on a bike, because people who are driving tend to forget that is also a bike lane and they don't yield to the bikes. I don't know if you can see that sign on the right side of my frame there. Try to back up so you can see it. Yeah. Bicycle straight, right turn only, combined lane. Yeah. Combined lanes are awful for cyclists. But yeah, again, I'm on another half-mile street. Tall Street has a half-mile street between 7th Street and 16th Street. And look, there goes the Route 50. Yeah, Route 50 is definitely one of the better served bus routes. Although on Sunday, all of the bus routes are underserved. Which actually used to be a lot worse. I remember when I first, I grew up in Phoenix, but I want to say when I was like 8, my mother moved up. My parents split up when I was 5. When I was 8, my mother moved up to Wyoming. And from there, I kind of simultaneously lived in Phoenix and Douglas, Wyoming, going back and forth. First few years, spending my winters primarily, and living primarily with my father, going to school here in Phoenix, until the end of 5th grade. And from there on, it was the other way around. So yeah, during junior high and high school, I got the worst of both worlds. I got Phoenix in the summertime and eastern Wyoming in the wintertime. On the bright side, I can pretty much handle being in any climate. I know how to dress for it, and I can cope with it. So unlike other people, I'm not particularly bothered by Phoenix this summer, and I'm not fond of snow, but it's not something I can't deal with. Heard this song in a while. Got it at 101.5, which is like kind of the most mainstream pop station we have. All right, here is another half-mile street. Oh, I got a red light, which is fine. See, I'm kind of happy with what they did with 12th Street as far as it added, and I have used it a little bit on the electric scooter, but I like the additional bike lane. Not so fond of the shared right turn lanes. And I find it interesting, this is one of the few examples on the right where there is an actual bus lane. If you can see the sign, it's in my frame, it's kind of small on the right there, right past the traffic light where it says bikes and buses only. And that's because there's a bus stop there. No, this is the Route 12 that goes up and down 12th Street, and it's not served very well. Anyway, what was I going to say about Sundays? So yeah, I ended up once I was, I want to say 16, I just stopped coming to Phoenix to visit my father. At that point, given the choice between being a teenager of driving age in the town where I mostly lived, which was Douglas, Wyoming, and coming to visit my father where I didn't have a motor vehicle, it just was just no appeal to that at all. And nothing against my father. I mean, after all, it's Father's Day. I should maybe call him, but I don't even have his phone number at this point. And he never calls me, so it's just I've attempted to try to make a relationship happen with him, and he's just I can't make him care that I exist. It's something I can't do. So it's I try not to lose sleep over it. I got enough things in my world to lose sleep over, like who's my girlfriend sleeping with, since she's not sleeping with me, and God, I wish I wasn't sleeping alone. I've got those things to lose sleep over. I'm not losing sleep over the fact that my father doesn't care about me enough to have any kind of relationship with me. So, anyway, that's not where I was going. But hey, happy Father's Day. Happy Juneteenth, whatever that is. Gas at Circle K, $5.59 a gallon. Got a little bit less than a half tank, so I'm okay for now. There's alternative transportation. Somebody riding a skateboard. Fun times. I think that would qualify as a longboard. I'm not accelerating fast enough because somebody's passing me on the right. I won't put that on me. I wasn't really. Well, then again, I'm doing 40 and he just went past me, so. And I'm reasonably sure the speed limit on this street is 35, so. Anyway, at this point, I'm just going to follow him at whatever speed he's doing because maintaining traffic. Now, I say I was right, 35. This is a half-mile street. Missouri is a half-mile street. It's the one that's between Bethany Home and Camelback. But as you can see, they haven't got rid of the additional traffic lane on this one. It's still 4 lanes with occasional left turn lanes. And yeah, no bike lanes. And with this configuration, absolutely no room for bike lanes. And it doesn't like Phoenix feels that they can sacrifice the car traffic here for bicycles. And to be fair, for all the bike lanes that I've been following, I don't think I've seen a single bicycle. So, of course, this isn't really the time of year for it, I mean, even though it's under 100 degrees, barely, that's still pretty hot weather to be riding a bike in. So anyway, I was saying, like, when I was after I was a teenager and old enough to drive, I just kind of stopped coming back to Phoenix to visit my dad. Now I ended up moving back to Phoenix. Kind of moved out on my own when I was 17, almost 18. And I want to say I moved back to Phoenix when I was, I think I was 19. Yeah, I was definitely 19. Not terribly long after my 19th birthday, but I moved back to Phoenix when I was 19. And in my last video, I was kind of talking about, the trend of adult children living with their parents and how that's kind of weak sauce. But yeah, it does cost a lot more to rent an apartment now than it was when I was 19. But yeah, when I was 19, I moved back in with my mom. Very, very temporary situation. I was not, at that point, I'm the oldest of 9, and there were a lot of, most of my siblings were very little kids. They were all at home, and just going from being a teenager, living as an adult, living on my own, as I had been for about 2 years, to, oh my God, I'm surrounded by kids, and I can't stand this. And of course, they would come in and mess with my stuff, and that was awful. I want to say I left my mom's house within a week of arriving. It was not. Again, nothing against my mom. It was just like not where what I wanted to be at 19 years old. So, didn't have any money. I did have a job. Actually, I almost immediately got a job at Y95, KOY FM radio. It was only part-time, but it was at least, some income. At that point, I don't know. I think I stayed with my mom a little bit longer than that. I was there for a little bit, but yeah, I ended up moving with my dad. And that's the last time I lived with my dad. And again, I wasn't there very long either. Maybe, I don't know, a couple months tops. I ended up getting another job offer, another full-time radio job offer in Wyoming. So I went back north to attempt to continue my radio career. But during that time period, through quite a bit of that time period, I did not have a vehicle. So I was taking the bus. Oh, this guy's illegally parking his FedEx truck. I mean, I feel bad for him. I don't know where else he can park, but